Hello, hello, hello. We are officially live. I'm excited to kick off this spring semester 2023. Thank you all mentors for being here. I'm excited to have you as our mentors this upcoming semester. I'm getting this all set up right now. All right, let me go mute there. All right, we are set. We're good. All righty, there's that link. I'm going to send it over to my colleague Savannah. We're going to get started in 9 minutes for this first mentor workshop of the semester. So if anybody of you are here early, hang tight, introduce yourself in the chat. Introduce yourself in the chat. Yeah, if you're here early, please introduce yourself. All righty. We're gonna have some people come and join us soon in just a moment. We're gonna talk about some good things to prepare and think about for the workshop this upcoming semester. Lots of good things to cover. Oh, we got some new people. Introduce yourself in the chat. Welcome. Archer, or Laura, Latoria. Sorry, it's been a long day. I'm not reading all that properly, but I love your sunflower. That's a cool avatar you've got there. Latoria, where you coming in from? Have you had a good week so far, Latoria? You're in Ohio. Very nice. A good yet busy week. Awesome. Well, that's good. Hopefully busy is good. Hopefully it's good busy. I think I've got this cedar fever thing going on in Texas. I'm down in Austin, Texas, and yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the pollen, I don't know, but people call it cedar fever. I don't know if I officially have it yet. I don't know if I'm feeling it, but it's I just feel something stuck in my throat almost. Alrighty, well, any new people that are joining us, please introduce yourselves in the chat. Busy is good. I love it. You know, here's the thing. This is my soapbox on the term busy. I think it's good to be busy, but I don't like busy as a status symbol. And the reason why I don't like busy as a status symbol is because it turns people away. Like if I say, hey, how are you doing? They say busy. And then they, I immediately am like, oh, geez, like, I hope I'm not taking up your time. I hope like I'm not an inconvenience for you or just getting in your way of getting the things you want to get done. So I know this sounds strange, but I heard Kevin Hart, he was doing an interview with Conan O'Brien, I think it was, and Conan was saying, oh, Kevin, you got these movies and TV shows and commercials, and you got this and that and whatever. And he's like, you must be a really busy guy. And Kevin said, no, I'm not busy, but I'm spending my time optimally. So I don't know. I think when it comes to, how you're doing, how things are going in your world and how you're feeling, I think if you say, oh, I'm spending my time optimally, it one conveys to whoever you're speaking with that you are appreciative of the time that you're spending with them, but two, that it's I don't know, positive swing on the term busy, because I think sometimes it's so easy to get caught up with the I'm busy. And I think back in the 90s we viewed being busy as like a prestigious status symbol, like you've got important stuff going on. But I do think that there is a power in being intentional about like, hey, I'm spending my time optimally. But I don't know, that's my soapbox on it. Hey Chris, hey Sophia, hey Renisha, thanks for being here. Hopefully you're not turned off about my soapbox around the term busy. Hey, Nick, thanks for being. Hey, Nick, I'll call you Nick. Thanks for being here. Where are y'all tuning in from? I'm in Austin, Texas. By the way, we're going to get started in 4 minutes. But okay, cool. Latoria, I'm glad that you agree. That's my whole little soapbox around the term busy. I think it's also especially critical as a mentor for a student. Like if a student says, oh, hey, how are you doing? Or what's going on? And then you say, oh, I'm busy. That might communicate to them like, oh, geez, like, I hope I'm not, like taking up too much of your time or anything like that. So I think, I don't know, if we can say the, term, I'm spending my time optimally, your student will likely be more receptive to that sort of thing. Just a different change in words. Also, don't mind my giant water bottle. This is my accountability bottle. It's a gallon of water, and I know if I'm drinking it, I'm drinking my water for the day. Hey, Ashley, thanks for being here. Are there captions? I don't know. Let me check. Let's see what I can do here. Settings, subtitles, English. I think you can turn on subtitles. I think you can turn on closed captioning. If you go to your settings, Nick, I think you can actually adjust your settings to turn on subtitles. Ashley, hydration is important. Totally agree. Bay Area, very nice, very cool. Upstate New York, I love it. Chicago, grew up in the Chicagoland area. I grew up in a town called Flossmoor. Renisha, I don't know if you've ever been to Flossmoor. It's a cool town. Born in New Zealand, residing in Connecticut. Very cool. Nick, do you have a very cool accent? Do you refer to yourself as a Kiwi? We're going to get started in 2 minutes. LA, love it. We got people from all over the country. Renisha, you've been to Flossmoor. That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. There's not too much going on in Flossmoor. This is a really small little town. Megan Scott from Massachusetts. You do and you do. Fantastic. So Nick, you've got a cool accent and you refer to yourself as a Kiwi. I like it. Rhonda, another Connecticut resident here. Minju from Massachusetts. Nice. We got a little East Coast, West Coast thing going on and some Chicago people. That's sweet. I like it. So I mentioned this before. I think I've got perhaps cedar fever. It's this thing going on in Texas, the pollen in the air. I don't know. If you feel like my voice is raspy or not as clear, I promise you it won't be like that every workshop we have through the semester. Tanner from Illinois, very nice. All right, we're gonna get started in a minute, but yeah, the point is please excuse me for my potentially raspy voice for this workshop this evening. Ashley, Flossmoor, it's so funny. Ashley, great question. Flossmoor, there are dentists in Flossmoor. Even funnier enough, my dad is a dentist. That was the craziest thing. So I just thought, oh, like you growing up, you live in the town based on where, like what vocation your parents live. That was a weird coincidence. But yeah, no, that's funny. Flossmoor. That's so funny. Great observation, Ashley. Gary Ringler from Columbus, Ohio. Very nice. Am I on allergy meds? I am not, but I probably should get some Zyrtec or something. Kath McLean from Michigan. Isabella from Phoenix. Very nice. Okay. Well, it is officially 6 o'clock in Austin, Texas, 7 o'clock on the East Coast, 4 o'clock on the West, and 5 o'clock in Denver. Let's get started. Oh, Haley, perfect, from Colorado. Very nice. So we're going to be talking about the mentor program for this upcoming semester. One, I just wanted to say I'm grateful, super grateful to have you all as mentors this upcoming semester. Being a mentor is so critical. I'm just going to give you a couple of facts about mentorship and why being a mentor is so powerful for students. And you may think, oh, it's the least I can do. You know, it's just a handful of conversations I have with a student over the course of the semester. But I'm here to tell you there's a ton of power in mentorship. So here's a couple of fun facts. College students who have mentors are nearly 3 times as likely to thrive in their livelihoods than students who do not have mentors. 3 times. College students who have mentors through their organization show greater levels of positive emotional feelings towards their organization as an alumni. College students who have mentors are 32% more likely to be engaged in their work compared to students who do not have mentors. This is according to the Gallup-Purdue Great Jobs, Great Lives report. And outside of just the impact of students, being a mentor is extremely rewarding in the sense that it can teach you new things, provide you with somebody in which you can bounce things off of, and find a new way to help impact another person's life in a way that maybe you hadn't impacted them before. So, by the way, my name is Garrett, and I am the founder of Ambition in Motion. You might be wondering who I am, how I got into all this stuff. So I'll give you a brief background on me. So I am the founder of Ambition in Motion. I started this company because I needed mentors in my life. What do I mean by that? I mean, from age 15 to age 19, I was a drug dealer. And at the end of my freshman year at Indiana University, I got arrested. I received 5 felony distribution charges. I was expelled from school. I was facing prison time. I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. But I fortunately had some people who saw something in me that I didn't quite see in myself, and they gave me some opportunities. And that eventually led me to helping and wanting to help other young men and women who had made similar choices as me, get connected with mentors, business leaders in the community to help them see a path forward that maybe they hadn't envisioned for themselves. And I found so much reward from facilitating those mentor relationships that when I got back into university, when I got back into college, I said, you know what, I want to help college students connect with mentors. I just saw so many students spending time in degree paths that maybe they didn't actually know if that was the thing that they wanted to do professionally. I also saw a lot of students not really know exactly what they wanted to do from college to career. And I said, if I could connect college students with alumni for mentorship, I could have a really big impact on people's lives. And so fast forward 10 years later, I'm here today and we're still doing the same thing. And we couldn't be making the impact that we're making without you as mentors. So I wanted just to first say that I'm really grateful to have you as a mentor and to be a mentor for these students. It's really powerful. It's really impactful. And it really means a lot. So I give that context and I give that background. Hopefully I don't scare you off, but I give that context because this isn't just there's meaning behind it. There's research, there's science, there's studies we've done, but also just there's emotion. There's something driving us to help facilitate these mentor relationships beyond just working with your university or organization. There's really a lot of power in it. And I'm grateful that I get to work with you because I would not be able to have the impact that I get to make without you being a mentor for these students. So I'm really grateful and I'm really appreciative of that. Now, I will say this, outside of our mentor programs in higher ed, we do provide mentor programs for companies. We have executive mastermind groups. So if you're leading a team, whether that be you're a director or a manager or a vice president or even a CEO or business owner, and you'd like to connect with other leaders to help you work through your challenges, because sometimes as a leader, it can be a lonely place. Let us know. I'd love to chat with you about it and see if you'd be a fit for our mastermind group. And then we also created this really cool software tool called AIM Insights that helps leaders get a pulse as to how their direct reports are feeling at work, and then gives them executive coaching to guide them as to what that data means and how they can showcase their leadership abilities to other prospective employers to get promotions. So anyways, I love leadership. I love mentorship. I love everything about helping people advance in their careers. And Yeah, if there's anything that you might be interested in getting involved with us further, please do not hesitate to ask. So let's talk about mentorship. I believe that there are 3 keys to being a successful mentor. Really, I think these 3 keys are pretty much applicable to anything that you do professionally. But I believe that there are 3 keys to being successful as a mentor and really successful in life and career and professionally. But those 3 keys are: 1, honing your strategy; 2, honing your story; and 3, honing your state. And I say them in reverse order of importance. I think state, physically, like your physical state, is the most critical thing to being a great mentor, to being a great leader, to being a great guide to somebody else as they're pursuing their own career paths. Because so often it can be easy for us to get caught up into whatever kind of day we're having. If we're exhausted, maybe we're having a rough day, maybe we got some bad news, and maybe it's weighing on us. And then when we go into our mentor meeting, we're that grogginess is coming off of us. And the issue is that if we want to be a successful mentor, we can't allow for that grogginess to come off, because even in a video call or even a phone call, our student, our mentee can feel that. They can sense that. They can feel like, okay, this person doesn't want to be here, or this person's having a rough day, or maybe I'm taking up too much of their time. They start getting into these negative feelings or thoughts that have really nothing to do with the relationship itself. And so what's so critical is that us as mentors, even if we're having a bad day, that we come in a state conducive for being successful. So you might be wondering yourself, well, okay, not everybody's on their A game every day. People can be tired. People can be groggy. It's a normal part of life. And that's true. But there are ways to trick your brain into feeling happy, into getting into a peak in a positive state. And we are going to test one of those ways right now. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you stand up, and for the next 30 seconds, I don't care if you're in a public space, I don't care if you're in a private space, but if wherever you're at, I want you to stand up and I want you to shake it out. I want you to shake it loose, and we're going to have some fun. So on the count of 3, I want you to stand up and I want you to shake it out, shake it loose, kick it out, let it go, have some fun. 1, 2, 3. Shake it out, shake it loose, let it go, kick it out, kick the legs out, get the legs moving, get the arms moving. I want you to get the head moving, get the neck moving, get the arms, everything going. Pound your chest like you're King Kong. Let it go, let it out. And on the count of 3, I want you to scream at the top of your lungs. 1, 2, 3, yeah! Let it out, let it loose, let it go. Woo! I don't know what I was feeling beforehand, but I feel a lot better now. And I know that may sound crazy, but I guess I would love to ask you, if you actually participated in that, how do you feel? Do you feel a little bit better than you were before? Well, there's some science behind that, as there always is. So by shaking it out, shaking it loose, getting our blood flowing, screaming at the top of our lungs, what we're doing is we're sending endorphins to our brain that are tricking us into feeling happier. Essentially, these endorphins are firing and they're like, okay, something's happened. This person's getting moving. This person's getting up. This person's going around and screaming, and something's happening. And our brain is like, okay, we must feel better now, because physically we're literally manifesting our own happiness. Other ways that you can do this are power poses. So there's this powerful research around power poses and getting in a powerful position, taking up space. That's one way to get in a positive state. Another way, one of my other favorites, is fake laughing for 30 seconds. Fake laugh for 30 seconds. I guarantee you, set a timer, a real timer, 30 seconds, and you will be actually laughing by the end of those 30 seconds. And the reason why is because you're sending endorphins to your brain that are tricking yourself into actually feeling better and feeling happier. So when it comes to your mentor relationship, when it comes to being a mentor, when it comes to being anything, if you want to be successful, you got to come in with a state conducive to being successful. Pound your chest like you're King Kong, scream it out, shake it loose, let the arms go. Because if you don't, your body language, your vocal intonation, it will come out. People will perceive it. Your body language communicates far more than the actual words that you use. And so I want to challenge you that if you are having a rough day and you're about to meet with your student mentee, shake it out, let it loose, stretch it out, get the blood flowing, do what you can to get yourself into a state conducive to being successful. Second key, story. What is the story you tell yourself for why you will or will not be successful? Now, what's really critical here is so often we can get our own head trash, and head trash are negative BS beliefs that we really have no control over, but they affect us and they inhibit our ability to act or do the things that we really want to do. So what is the story we tell ourselves? Why will we or won't we be successful as a mentor? If we tell ourselves like, oh, I don't have the experience, or I'm an introvert, or I'm an extrovert, or my personality isn't conducive for being a good mentor. Oh, I don't know if I have the experience, or if I've got the degrees, or if I make enough money, or if I don't have the high enough title. Like if we tell ourselves these stories for why we won't be successful, I promise you, you won't be successful. You will manifest whatever you believe. It's what's the saying? Whether you believe you're right or you believe whether you believe you're good or you believe you're bad, I can promise you you're right. So if we as mentors and as leaders can believe that we can be successful as a mentor and can tell ourselves a story for why we can be a great mentor to our student, we're much more likely to actually manifest that and be that great leader for our students. So I love for you all watching right now in the comments section, if you could write down, why are you a great mentor? Or why can you be a great mentor for a student? Put in the chat section. I love to learn about it. Oh, I love it. I love reading the comments section. Oh, Kelly, I love it. Everyone in the store thinks you're a crazy person. I'm glad that you did it. Thank you. That's amazing. Crystal, I'm glad that you feel better. Helene, good. I'm glad you feel better too. Serena, that's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. Feels silly. Definitely makes you laugh. Makes you feel good. That's it. Isn't it the little things? Oh, good. M. Smith, I'm glad that it brought a smile. Hey, Mark. That's right. I love it. Thanks for Nick. Thanks for finding that quote from Henry Ford. That's exactly what it was. Perfect. Good quote check on me. Because you're a great listener. Helene, great. Taylor, I've been a mentee, so I know what it's like to want and need guidance. That's amazing. That's fantastic. Because you love to see people succeed. Great. Thanks for sharing that, Serena. Lori, I'm a great listener. I've been a mentor before. I love that. Renisha, provide inspiration and motivation. That's amazing. Christopher, what do you mean by because I'm a doormat? What does that mean? I'd be curious to know if you could elaborate on that. Sometimes, I don't know, I could interpret that in a variety of ways. Like by doormat, it means that you're always there and you're available and you can help people whenever they're in a time of need. That could be totally beneficial. I've not heard that term before, doormat, and I love clarification if you could. You're a great listener, Ashley. You love uplifting people and helping others succeed. Amazing. Crystal, experience brings wisdom, and I look forward to learning from my mentee as well. I love that. I love it. Horizontal mentorship is what we call that. Ashley, I'm very persuasive. Okay, very cool. I like it. Man, great responses, everybody. I love it. I love reading this chat section. This is fantastic. Approaching everything with optimism. I like it, Megan. I'm an optimist myself. I think being an entrepreneur, you kind of have to be. But I love it. I think it's great, believing that things can happen. I will say this. Here's a funny story about optimism. I have observed that optimists can sometimes be late to meetings or late to things in general because they were optimistic about how much things they could get done in the time that they had. I know sometimes I'm guilty of that. I try not to be, but I think that's one interesting downfall of being an optimist. So sometimes you're late to things. Melissa, thanks for sharing. I appreciate your vulnerability. Ed and Kim Gravel, I love it. I appreciate it. You listen. Rhonda, great mentor because you've very experienced his life to draw off of. I love it. I love it. I love it. Cool. I'm a good mentor because I help others easily. I love that, Brian. That's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that, M. Smith. I appreciate it. Yeah, okay, cool. I mean, Chris, I can see what you mean. Christopher, I appreciate you share that. You want to be useful to people and however they need it. Erica, I want to encourage others to find their passion. Laura, I can be a great mentor because I'm a great listener. I'm taking a not so traditional path. I love that. I love that. That's so great. Thanks for sharing that, everybody. Chelsea, great. You want to be you can be a great mentor because you can share what you've learned through your own life experiences and be an encouragement in ways that you've lacked. I love that. I love that. Michael, you're concerned about other people succeeding in life. I think that's fantastic. That's amazing. Tanner, just always wanted to be one and wanted to help others. I love it. I think that's it. That's fantastic. I love it. This comment section is great. This is fantastic. So the last key to being a successful mentor is the strategy. What is the strategy you use to be the best mentor you can be? The reason why this is the last key is because if we're coming in with a positive story, if we're coming in with a positive state, we're then in a position where we can go about saying, okay, well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Maybe I can introduce you to this person. Maybe I can connect you with this person. Maybe I could be a reference for you. Maybe I can help look at your resume. Maybe I can help look at your cover letter. Maybe there are a variety of different things that you can do as a mentor to help them. So if you're only looking at it from a one strategy fits all mentality, you're not likely to be successful. But if you're open to trying new things, if you're open to giving different things a shot, I think that you are going to be really effective as a mentor. Now, I will say this, the best mentors ask the best questions. It's not necessarily about what advice you're going to give them. It's not necessarily about who you can necessarily introduce them to. Oftentimes, it's helping them clarify what they want. Most people, I feel like, have their own answers inside of them, but they just need someone to help pull it out. And that's what mentorship can be all about, is really just helping them get to where they want to be by asking them questions that help clarify the things that they're working on. So that's awesome. So those are the three keys that I've identified as being critical to being successful as a mentor, and really in anything that you do in your life. But now let's talk about why you were matched with your mentee. So there's this area of research called work orientation. If you log into your dashboard, just go to ambition-in-motion.com and then click login. You'll be able to log in there and you'll be able to see what your work orientation is. So there's this work orientation triangle. It says job, career, or calling on it. And work orientations are a unique area of research. Essentially, what we found is that when two people's work orientations are aligned at this given moment in time, the likelihood that relationship lasts for 6 months and is considered productive and quality is 4 times greater than if it's just based on what you do. Now, work orientation, if you're job oriented, it means you're motivated by work-life balance. If you're career oriented, it means you're motivated by growth and learning new skills. And if you're calling oriented, it means you're motivated by impact. There's not a right or wrong work orientation. It's not good or bad. It's on a spectrum, so you could be in between categories, and it's fluid. So where you were 5 years ago could be very different than where you're at now. But like I said, work orientation has a profound impact on the longevity and quality of those mentor relationships. So that's a big reason why we paired you with your student beyond just their career path and degree path and all that sort of fun stuff. We look at that work orientation because we know it's so critical. So for example, if you're career oriented and your student's career oriented, you're both motivated by growth. You could be in totally different industries, but if you're both motivated by growth and learning new skills, that's going to help drive the advice, guidance, and questions you ask, because that also drives the place that they want to be professionally. So next point of topic that I like to cover is, how are we preparing the students for meeting with you? So we provide workshops. Just like we have this workshop right now, we also have workshops for students where we bring in guest speakers talking about different topics. So for students, we have workshops on how to get your foot in the door for professional opportunities, how to network in a genuine way, how to prepare for the interview, and how to make the most of the first job or internship. And for alumni mentees, so these are for alumni that are in their careers and they said, you know what, I'd love to get a mentor myself. Those workshops are on how to transition into management, how to determine the right time to pursue additional education, how to determine the right time to switch jobs, and then how to handle conflict in the workplace. By the way, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, all the videos are available to you. They just come out throughout the rest of the semester. So if you already subscribed to this, you'll get different leadership content that we put out throughout the semester. And even beyond that, we just love talking about leadership stuff and sharing great insights and wisdom from both our own team as well as guest speakers to just talk about what we can do to be the best professionals we can be. But yeah, these workshops are meant to just help prepare students for their career path, for the places that they like to be, and for where they like to go, ideally, optimally, professionally. the goal of teaching students is that we equip them to make progress professionally. So then they've got options and pathways to their desired career outcomes, as opposed to just solely relying on you. Ideally, there's multiple people giving these students support to get to where they'd like to be. It's a lot easier to mentor somebody when you are guiding them, as opposed to them putting all their eggs in you to help them with their internship or job search. So any questions about any of what I've shared so far? By the way, we started making mentor introductions. Now, some of you may not have been introduced to a student yet. Please be patient. So essentially what happens is we start making mentor introductions, but we also recognize there are some maybe mentors that signed up, but perhaps weren't up for the task, aren't obviously here on a workshop like this evening, and their student says, hey, I haven't heard back, and then we'd love to maybe do a repair and connect you with the student. So we'll be finalizing all of the mentor pairings by no later than March 18th. But what we like to do in the meantime is, we're going to get mentor pairing started, and we'd love to invite you to our mentor workshops just to keep you updated on all the things that we've got going on. But with that said, I recognize that some of you may not have heard from your mentee yet. Some of you have been introduced. Some of you haven't been connected yet. And some of you may not, unfortunately, get paired with a student. And that's got nothing to do with you. It's just a product of the amount of students that we have in the semester and the product of the mentors that we have. But like I said, there are some mentors that sign up and then we ended up determining that they're just not following through with their student. And then we'll pair that student with potentially you to reconnect. But we like to have until March 18th to follow up. And then after March 18th, we'll follow up with you to let you know what the status is of the situation, and then provide other ways for you to engage with us in our community for future semesters and for future mentorship opportunities, because we always have mentorship opportunities going on. So what to expect from the mentor relationship? We've you can expect your student to have you can expect your student to have varying degrees of progress towards their career goals. Some students might be freshmen and just like getting started professionally. Some might be seniors, already have a job or an internship lined up, but they're looking forward to the next steps. Some might be non-traditional students, meaning that they've come back from a professional life and career to go get their education. There are a variety of people that you could be interacting with and working with from this mentor program. They are not expecting you to have all the answers for them. The best mentors ask the best questions and take the time to listen. We will be running workshops throughout this 12-week program throughout the semester to teach skills, provide tips, and give insight into how you can improve your relationship with your mentee and answer any questions you may have. The mentor workshop dates are listed in your guidebook. So the next mentor workshop will actually be next week, same exact time, on next Thursday, March 9th. So I'd love to see you there as well for that, if you can make it. And if you can't attend the live session, these are all recorded. So these are done on YouTube Live. And then the recording of this can always be found on YouTube Live. It's always on our page. And you can always find it there. So that is essentially all the key things from this mentor first workshop. It's just really kind of just trying to it's meant to set the expectation for the mentor program and help provide tips. So next week's workshop, what we're going to talk about is how to set expectations for your mentor relationship. So let's say, God forbid, you have a student that maybe doesn't respond, maybe shows up late, maybe does something that frustrates you. I'm going to talk about in our next workshop how to handle those types of scenarios. I'll also give you some suggested questions you can ask to get on a deeper page and on a deeper level with your student. But one quick tip that I love to suggest all mentors ask, and really this is a great question to ask anybody if you want to get to know them on a really deep level really quickly. And this may sound like a silly question, but I learned this from a gentleman named Patrick Lencioni. He wrote the book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. He also wrote the book, The Advantage. He's a great author. If you've ever read Patrick Lencioni, if you've not, I highly recommend those books. But in his book, The Advantage, he says, if you want to get to know somebody really quickly, ask them this 3-part question. So 1, how many siblings did you have growing up? 2, what order were you in those siblings? And 3, what was a unique challenge you faced in your childhood? You will learn a lot about your student if you ask him those 3 questions. And by the way, you should reciprocate. So you should share your answers to those 3 questions with your student as well. that could be a great way for you all to get to know each other really, really well. All righty. So it looks like we've got some mentor matches going on already in the chat section. I love it. Everybody's amazing. Brian, so great. That's amazing. Thanks for stepping up. That's so cool. Oh, yeah, perfect. Heather, you already asked it. You beat me to it, Heather. Big fan of, man, I've got so many books. So Heather, if you want book recommendations, I've got books for you. I love Simon Sinek. I think his work is really great. So he's got a book called Leaders Eat Last. He's also got a book called The Infinite Game. I'm a big fan of both of those. Adam Grant, big fan of him as well. He's got a book called Givers and Takers. I'm a big fan of that. It just talks about why it makes more sense to give. And just by the mere fact that you all are mentors this semester, I know that you all are givers. You're going to really love that book. Patrick Lencioni, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, is his most popular book. It's a great book about how to be a great leader and really diagnose the challenges going on with the team. And the goodie, the oldie, the classic, the Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you haven't read that book, it's a classic. It's the ultimate classic leadership book. I highly recommend it. Amazing. I love this. So can I repeat the questions? Yes. How many siblings did you have growing up? What order were you in those siblings? And what was a unique challenge you faced in your childhood? Thanks for asking, Renisha. Oh yeah, great answer, Nick. What a question? Can you explain what a good question is? Haley asked that question. Great questions involve getting your student to think about things in a different way. So how about this? I'll give you a sneak peek on next week's workshop. Here's a set of suggested questions I love to ask to help a student find balance and vision. So it's a series of 5 questions, or rather, this is a set of questions around helping a student identify their vision and what they'd like to achieve professionally. So it's a set of 5 questions I like to ask. First question is, if this situation were to work out for you in the best way possible, what would it be? So if your professional career were to work out the best way possible for you, what would it be? Second question I like to ask is, what is one thing that seems impossible, but with a little luck and a lot of work, just might be within reach? I love to ask that question because it helps your student think big, broad, and what could be possible for them. The third question I like to ask is, what will you commit to doing today, this week, and this month to get to where you like to be? 4, who do you know that thinks big? I love asking that question because it gets them thinking about a paradigm for success. So often we think about success as this insurmountable thing, but I love to harken back to the 4-minute mile that Roger Bannister ran. I think it was in the 1930s or 40s or 50s. I can't remember what year it was. But up to that point, no one had ever beaten a 4-minute mile. And Roger Bannister did. And then within 1 year, I think 25 other people did it. It's just they needed one person to show them that they could do it and be successful. And then after that, tons of people did it. So the point I'm making is by asking a question to your student, who do you know that thinks big? It helps them think about who that paradigm of success is. And the 5th question I like to ask is, what in your life keeps you thinking small? Now, I'll elaborate on all of those questions in our next workshop next week, as well as more suggested questions, but I'm giving you a little taster for some suggested questions in our workshop next week. But I like to ask that last question because it can help us remove or eradicate people that are negative toxicity people in our life. Like anybody who keeps us thinking small are not people we want to surround ourselves with. So if we can help get people thinking big and removing the people that makes us think small, we can be really good helpers to our students. Oh, good, Kelly. I'm glad that you like Pat Lencioni. He's a great author. Brian, I'm glad that you like those tips. So what was the question? So the work orientation in the dashboard is our own or meant to know. It's both of you. So M. Smith. So you can actually see both you and your mentees work orientation in the dashboard. If it only just shows yours, then it just shows yours, and that's just because we're in the process of pairing you with a mentee. Ooh, Heather, great suggestion. Leaders Make the Future by Bob Johansson. I'll have to check that one out. Reached out, waiting to hear back from your mentee. Laura, great point. If you don't hear anything back, reach out to my colleague, Savannah. She's at support@ambitioninmotion.com. She can be your guide for everything, following up, that sort of stuff with your student. Great. Crystal, you and your mentee are connecting already. That's amazing. Fantastic. Love Simon. That's amazing. I love that too. Fantastic. Start with Why is great. Yeah, Rhonda, great recommendation. What a great book. I totally neglected that one. What is the suggestion how to reach out, phone or email? I like to start with an email first, get them on the dial, or get them on the line in terms of scheduling a meeting, but I love doing video chat. If you can do video chat, I just think that's such a great way. You know, you can't replicate in-person interactions, but if you can do a video chat, you know, whether it be on your phone or your computer, that can be a great way to see your student, and, you know, you can see body language, facial expressions, that sort of fun stuff. Are mentees asked to disclose any sensitive information of criminal nature to ensure they are a safe selection for the program? I ask because we will be sharing them some of our information. Interesting question, Carmela. Do you mind elaborating? Like, you know, I think my mentality about it is like, you can share and they can share if they feel comfortable. Like, I think I follow you know, if they're comfortable with it and you're comfortable with it, you know, that's a your decision to make type of scenario. Like, I shared with you my background, my story getting here, because I'm a big believer in vulnerability. I'm a big believer in vulnerability-based trust. And I think sharing openly is such a big way to, yeah, get onto a great level with somebody. Love leaders eat last. Good. I'm glad that you like that, Mylene. I've been paired with my mentee. I'm just waiting for his response to the time and date to connect. Love that. Why is the meeting not a Zoom meeting? Brian, are you asking like why this meeting's not a Zoom meeting? So this, I mean, we're doing a YouTube live. It's just easier to do one-to-many relationships or conversations when you're doing it on YouTube. But also the benefit is, like, for anybody who is not able to attend live right now, they could watch a recording at a later date. So it essentially allows us to accommodate for everybody's schedules. I know some people have evening time stuff going on. And so, you know, if they say, oh, well, I couldn't make the live session on YouTube, but they could watch a recording, it's here. And by the way, for anybody that wants to watch the recording of this, they can do that as well. So that's why we do this in YouTube as opposed to on Zoom. Awesome. Well, everybody, this has been great. I love the interaction in the chat. This has been a fantastic first workshop of the semester. Our next one is going to be exactly a week from today, same exact time, 6 Central, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, 5 in Colorado on Mountain Time. But yeah, I'd love to see you all then. And if you have any questions about anything that in the meantime, please email my colleague Savannah at support@ambition-in-motion.com. She's the one that's been emailing about all this stuff anyways. Yeah, also, if any of you are interested in any of the other programs that we've got going on, that being like our executive mastermind group. So if you're leading a team, for anything and you're interested in meeting with other leaders, reach out to us, reach out to Savannah, reach out to me. I'd love to chat with you, see if what we're doing could be a fit to help with you in that, because I think mentorship doesn't stop once you get out of college. I think mentorship should be throughout your career. So we've got, you know, executives that are 60 something years old to, you know, in their 20s and anything in between. I just think being a leader and having that leadership mentality means that you're getting mentored and learning constantly from new people all the time. So anyways, if you're interested in that, just send us an email and we'd be happy to follow up and connect about it. Fantastic. I'm just reading over the comments now. Yeah, Nick, thanks for letting us know. This recording and next week's recording will also be available on our YouTube channel. So thanks for letting us know. But anyways, thanks for being here, everybody. I really appreciate you. I'm really grateful to have you all here as mentors this semester. I'm so excited for what we're going to be able to accomplish, and I'm really grateful for you all. Seriously, your impact as a mentor means a lot and has a really big impact. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.